Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, good evening, Masal Khair. A very warm welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining us on this very special evening as we celebrate the launch of an iconic project, the Trump Wadi Safar project. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Nadine Hani. I present the business news on Arabiya, and it is truly an honor to be here with you tonight as moderator for this discussion marking the unveiling of the Trump Wadi Safar, a landmark partnership between Dar Global, a Saudi-born real estate developer that has successfully expanded onto the global stage and achieved a listing on the London Stock Exchange, and the Trump Organization, the most influential and recognized name in the global real estate sector. Trump Wadi Safar will rise in the heart of Diriyah, one of the kingdom's flagship giga projects and a cornerstone of Vision 2030. As a powerful symbol of Saudi Arabia's national identity and home to the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Taif, Diriyah occupies a central role in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and its transformation, driving tourism ambitions while blending world-class cultural experiences with heritage preservation. This evening's gathering also coincides with a pivotal moment for the Saudi real estate sector, as the kingdom prepares to open its real estate market to foreign investors, even those that are not domiciled here within the country. And this regulation comes within a broader framework of reforms designed to strengthen the sector and enhance its global appeal. Over the next hour, we will explore all of these themes and, above all, the long-term confidence and commitment to the kingdom's future that this remarkable project so clearly represents. To do that, please help me in welcoming our speakers. Thank you very much for taking time to be with us, and Mr. Trump for traveling all the way to be here with us tonight. Please note that this conversation will be in both Arabic and English. Mr. Shelash, دعني أبدأ معك أولاً. يعني حضرتك بدأت كمطور سعودي، ولكن ما الذي ألهمك أن تخطو خارج المملكة، أن تطلق دار جلوبال من لندن تحمل اسم السعودية إلى قطاع التطوير العالمي وحتى إدراج ببورصة لندن؟
أهلا وسهلا فيك وفي السادة الحضور. أولا أرحب فيكم جميعا. عن جد يعني سعداء جدا بتشريفكم لنا هالليلة. بس إذا تعذروني يعني علشان ضيوفنا I will switch to English because for our guest. First of all, I'd like to welcome our guest here tonight. Welcome my friend Eric and your wife Laura and all your team. You are at home. Actually, this is not. We hope it's the second home for you and your family. And really, we are more than happy to host you tonight with your team. Return to your question, Nadine. Actually, we as a developer, the development, it's a real estate. In the real estate, it's a local knowledge everywhere, even in the West. If you go anywhere, you know the local people, they know how to create value, where is the growth for the city, and they know all the local knowledge. But we as a Dar Arkan decide to be also at this local knowledge with international standard. That's why we rely with a lot of professionals like Trump Organization and others. So that's one. And second, if you would like to do some kind of joint venture with this level of developer professionals, good names and brand names, and this is its need. Okay, to be also international. Okay, to be listed in UK as a alhamdulillah, يعني the first company in Saudi in UK. As a Saudi, so
representing Saudi Arabia in the London Stock Exchange.
So yes, to be listed in UK with this standard of regulation in London Exchange, so it will add a lot for us, and also not only governance or something like that, no, but also a trust with our partners. So that's my answer for your questions, and we hope, inshallah, we'll go maybe another market soon.
Let's ask Mr. Shahar to elaborate further. Dar Global has partnered with some of the most recognizable names globally. First of all, why this business model, the branded developments? And second of all, why choosing this moment in time within what's happening in Saudi Arabia to launch this partnership with the Trump Organization?
Thank you for that question. Dar Global is a company specialized in developing in cities that target foreign investment, that has a big number of nationalities that invest in those cities. This is why we started in places like the south of Spain and London and other GCC areas. We moved to Saudi in 2024 specifically for this moment, which is the moment of the opening up of the largest market in the Middle East, a market which is intrinsically $100 billion without any foreign investment, and a market that has a number of global activities coming into it in the next 10 years that no other country has seen in the whole world. A market that has an amazing tax regime, safe, secure, and finally we're human beings. I would like to go into a country, and when I reach the immigration officer, I would like that immigration officer to tell me, welcome to Saudi, not why are you here? Like when we go to many of the Western countries. When you add all of these, this is why we launched Dar Global in Saudi, to bring the 120 nationalities to the Saudi market, and for a real estate developer not just to become a provider of housing, but part of the foreign direct investment of the country. And when you want to expose a market newly to the globe, what better than the most amazing brand of Trump that is known in more than 200 countries to convince them to come to this amazing area called Arabiya, Wadi Safar, and combine all of these at the onset of the start of international investment in the real estate market in Saudi.
Mr. Trump, the Trump Organization is obviously very selective when it comes to associating its name with companies around the world and committing to the long term. So could you explain to us what gave you the confidence to commit to this project, not only to this project, but also to Saudi Arabia at this moment in time?
Well, the reason I have confidence is because we love the Saudi people, and on behalf of my entire family, on behalf of me, the way I've been welcomed to Saudi Arabia is unlike that of any country anywhere in the world, and I really mean that. So thank you. We love being here. We love all of you. Guys, we came in here with one goal, and that's to create the greatest real estate projects anywhere in the world. The first project we did together was Jeddah, the first project we launched. And honestly, the reception was incredible. That project sold out almost instantaneously, and it's one of the most beautiful buildings. And we knew we wanted to come to Riyadh, and we knew we wanted to come to Riyadh with something incredibly special. And we found the greatest piece of land. And a lot of dots connected, We've known Jerry for about 40 years. I knew Jerry when I was a very, very young kid in Atlantic City back in the days, and crossed paths for a very long time. And Ziad, I've known Ziad for close to 15 years, and we become dear friends. And the chairman, Yousef, the chairman's truly become family. In fact, the running joke in Saudi is they call him Yousef Trump now, and so we're very, very proud of that. But I mean it when I say we have the option to choose just about any real estate project on earth. We see all the best locations, we see all the best countries, and honestly, the partnership with Dar has become something that we're so incredibly proud of. When you get to a certain point in life, whether it's wealth, whether it's success in a company, you want to focus on projects that you really care about with people you really care about. And that's what we have here, and that's why we're doing so many things together, whether it be multiple projects here in Saudi, whether it be a great project that we're doing in Oman, whether it be a great project that we're doing in Dubai. We're doing a great project together in the Maldives. Everything that Dar does, they do well. Look at tonight, look at this stage, look at this room, look at the marketing, look at the renderings, right? It's the same level of professionalism that we put into every one of our properties. They do on their end as well, and it makes it fun, it makes it entertaining, it makes it easy. At the same time, it allows you to create a product, elevate a product. And that's what we stand for. We stand for the highest end of real estate. It's not just 5-star. It's we want to be the best. We want to create icons in every single market that we go into. And so thank you, Saudi. Thank you for welcoming us. Thank you for the friendship toward myself, toward the family. Thank you for allowing us to come in here in ways that we couldn't even have maybe imagined 5 years ago. And also thank you for the vision that this country has had. When I say no other country is even competing when it comes to the vision of these properties, I'm being long-winded, but when you look at what Jerry's doing at Arabiya, right, $68 billion project, it's unbelievable. I tapped my beautiful wife on the leg last night. I said, count the amount of cranes. Count the amount of cranes that you have on the skyline. Nowhere in the world can replicate the size and scope and vision of these properties, of these projects. And so it's really, it's a great honor to be part of it. And I think we're going to leave a great mark on Saudi Arabia. And I think we're going to bring a lot of attention to a country that deserves a tremendous amount of attention for everything that you're doing so well right now.
We can't wait to experience living in the project that we're going to talk about tonight. Jerry, I remember visiting you in the Arabiya before COVID, right before COVID, and we were filming, and then COVID happened. We wanted to talk about the Arabiya, but the Arabiya has come a long way since then. Could you tell us a little bit more about how Wadi Safar fits within the whole Arabiya project, and how do branded developments such as what we're talking about, what we're discussing tonight, elevate the profile of the Arabiya globally?
Shukran. Salam alaikum, everyone, and my apologies if my back is to you. I don't mean to be rude. But may I join our beloved Chairman Trump, Yousef Trump, to welcome Eric and Laura and Larry and the entire Trump team back to the kingdom. The presence of Trump here brings a global credibility. And as Eric so articulately says, it's one great name behind another. So I'm very pleased to mention to everybody that Arabiya is fully on time, and you'll see historic Arabiya, the Wadi Hanifa, the Wadi Sfar, and our new boulevard done for Expo 2030. But now we're elevated to a new level with Trump coming in, not just to the kingdom, but to Arabiya, because you're bringing an organization that every day is devoted to quality, guest experience, not just the bottom line, of course that. But to team up with Dar, one of the best developers in the world, also known for quality, being on time, this is very important to us. So where you see the cranes, the 90 cranes, and I want to give a shout out to Mohammed Syed, our great president, and our Arabiya team, because all that area will be done by 2027. And that's going to be one of the great developments. But Wadi Sfar, when the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Riyadh goes from 8 million to 10 million, eventually to 12 million people, this will be an oasis. This will be like Bel Air is to California, Wadi Sfar. We like to call Arabiya Beverly Hills because it's the same size, 14 million square meters. But now all of a sudden, with Trump, the big announcement, with Four Seasons, with Amman, with Oberoi, Six Senses, the Wadi Sfar is going to be a global destination and now insured by a trifecta of quality. We're delighted about this.
Mr. Shelash, the choice of the Arabiya as a location for this iconic project, could you explain to us why did you choose the Arabiya?
Okay, actually, for that, Nadine, if you excuse me, just to thank my friend for this nice word about the country, about me, about our group, about our relationship, and excuse me, or if you allow me to quote one from your speech, for your interview to this morning in Arabiya English, when you said, I believe, or you believe Saudi safer than Europe, safer than London or Paris. That's really, we're proud of this, and thank you, and really appreciate it. And please, you are at home, my friend, and return to your question, Dir'iyah, it's a long history. It's one of the top priority for in the Vision 2030, and it's a historical city, and we can talk a lot about this, but here we would like just to talk about the economy in general. We don't like to talk about our project today. We'll give all the details for all our clients. Yes.
Mr. Ziad, Daraya has a distinctive character. So how will the Trump Wadi Safar project fit within that distinctive character, whether from a sustainability perspective, from a design? Tell us a little bit more.
That project will tie in 100% with the culture, the guidelines, the history, and the heritage and the sustainability of the Dar'iyya Master Plan and the Dar'iyya Company guidelines for development in that area. Because those guidelines are a safeguard for investors that this area will remain the most premium area. And allow me to say this, not in the kingdom, but most probably in the Middle East and even in Asia. So we would not dare change any of what you set as guidelines based on the history and the culture of that area. On the contrary, we will expand on that and stay within that boundary and create this super exclusive community, because you need to understand that this is a 2.6 million square meter land, and we're putting inside that land only 500 mansions around an amazing Trump International Golf Club, served by the amenities of the clubhouse, and next to that, an all-suites Trump International Hotel Wadi Safar, to serve that community and to serve those people who are looking at that super exclusive hospitality experience.
Mr. Trump, this is, as you mentioned, this is not your first project in the region. So when we talk about the Raya, this combination of heritage and yet future-looking, how or what makes the Trump Wadi Safar project different, would you say? And also, how does it fit or stay true to the Trump name and the Trump Development's name?
Well, I'm going to say something that's very controversial, but I think everybody in this room will appreciate this. Ziad and I were actually talking about it earlier today, and I was saying it to Yousef. You know, I go around the world and I see so many projects, and so many projects lack personality, they lack character, they lack authenticity, and that's exactly what I think has been done so right in Saudi. The project is so authentic. The clay bricks, the restoration of the fort, just the way you've brought the colors through is so different. I can take you to areas of every single new city built around the world, and they're not authentic. They're not real. They lack personality. They lack character. You know, they don't feel like they've actually instilled any heritage, and also they don't rhyme. They don't rhyme. You look at building to building. There's no matching. There's no continuity of it. There's no history. There's no love. It just seems like they're done without any thought, and that's the exact opposite of what has been able to be achieved here. Jerry's done a phenomenal job with it. The vision of the Crown Prince on this project has been incredible. The continuity, the way it rhymes, the expense, going 3 stories down, mining rocks so you can build authentic stone walls throughout a city. That's not a cheap endeavor. That's an incredibly expensive endeavor. And by the way, that's an endeavor that 99% of the time it would be left out for expense reasons, and yet they did it because it made sense. I had the great honor of seeing the park today, King Solomon Park, and wow, you want to talk about a vision? You want to talk about a vision? That park is 5 times the size of Central Park in New York, and Central Park in New York is a pretty big park. And so everything is done well, everything is done with heart and soul. And so when we come into this, believe me, we're going to embrace that with absolutely everything that we can, and we're going to try and bring it even up a notch from what it is. And so I really applaud the country for doing exactly what it's done. I applaud the vision of the city for being authentic and not just throwing up a bunch of skyscrapers with, nice glass curtain wall that has no rhyme and reason. It would have been a lot easier. Jerry, it would have made your life a lot easier. It would have been probably a lot cheaper to do that. What you've done is really incredible. A tremendous thought and planning and love and heart and soul has been put into it. And by the way, every tourist that comes to Saudi, every tourist that comes to Riyadh will take that feeling home with them and say, you know what, there was something there. There was a heart and soul there that I have to say I haven't felt in other places before. And I think that's going to be one of the landmark achievements of what's done here. And you better believe that our company will embrace that same philosophy, that same design philosophy, and it's still just as much heart and soul, hopefully more. That's ultimately going to be the legacy of everything that everybody on this stage is trying to achieve.
Mr. Inzerillo, we want some details. So, Mr. Shahar mentioned guidelines of the Raya in terms of design, in terms of sustainability, in addition to guest experience. What are those requirements of the Raya?
Well, you know, we are very blessed because at one period of time now, we have two great visionaries at the same time. You have the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman, just celebrated a birthday recently. And then you have our Crown Prince, the Prime Minister, Mohammed bin Salman. People find it astonishing that to this day, 8 years later, His Royal Highness approves every rendering while running a G20 country. Extraordinary, but not just today, every project. But what is true of what many things that Eric says about Trump creating icons no matter where they go. So if you're in Scotland, you embrace Scottish history, culture, behavior. You know, anywhere in the world they operate, you see that. So with our guidelines, it has to have authenticity, soul. It has to cater to our neighbors. It has to be Saudi first, right? Where people loved it there. Last night we had 3,200 people in Bijeri, Zalal, and Layali Diriyah, right? We just welcomed this past month, December, our 4 millionth visit to the UNESCO World Heritage Site that was restored by King Salman, right? So our form-based code, is it human? Is it quality of life? Every decision from His Royal Highness, will my people be healthy? Will they be happy? Will they be entertained? Will they be educated? Will they be safe? Every single day with him, right? So Diriyah was planned to be the first walkable cultural heritage, pedestrian-centric city. Walkable. What Eric says, because he's always thinking, you know, to put the whole smart city underground, to make the walkable city above ground. One other thing, we've already in the Wadi Hanifa planted 6.5 million trees with smart city technology. So now families are in that 9 kilometers of Wadi, picnicking with their families, baby carriages, bicycles, horseback. You know, so this brings Saudis outdoors 3 times a week, which is one of the Vision 2030 projects. So we have a very strict form-based code. We don't have to tell that to DAR because their standards are as high, if not as high as ours. You certainly don't have to tell that to Trump because the standards are very high there.
Vision 2030 actually has a program called the Quality of Life program, and that program has details about how there should be green spaces, how to enhance the quality of life of Saudis, and actually what you're describing reminds me of all these details that are there in the Quality of Life program. Before we continue the conversation, I would like to engage our audience with some poll questions. So we're going to display some QR codes on the screens, and I urge you please to scan those QR codes if we can start seeing them on the screens, and we will ask you 3 questions. I would like you to vote on these 3 questions and take feedback from our speakers. So here is the QR code now on the screen. So please, if you could all scan this QR code and start by answering the first question. So the first audience question is, do you feel confident about Saudi Arabia as a long-term investment destination? بالعربي، هل لديك الثقة بأن المملكة العربية السعودية تمثل وجهة استثمارية جاذبة على المدى البعيد? This is the question, and the answers are a simple yes or no. So please, if you could start voting so that we see the result and we get reaction from our speakers about that. Overwhelmingly so far. 99% so far, yes. Shall we tell them that they're protected? They can say no, nobody will. Is it anonymous? Mr. Shelash, let me get feedback. When we see this confidence that now we saw in the voting, this high level of confidence, how do you explain this transition and how investors view Saudi Arabia today compared to the past? التحول بنظرة المستثمرين للمملكة.
Sure. Actually, we as a small developer here in this country, almost there, okay, we sell more than 50 nationalities for properties in Saudi. So that's clear. 50 nationalities. So I don't believe all these investors or stupid or something like that. A lot of people, I mean 50 nationalities, not 50 investors. So that's clear answer, Nadine.
And also the kingdom advertising, opening its door, even the Ministry of Investment, all the work that they've been doing to attract foreign investments into the kingdom. I have a bit of a more difficult question for you, question 2. So if we can display it on the screen. Question 2 is, what is the main reason that you feel confident investing in Saudi Arabia today? ما هو السبب الرئيسي الذي يمنحك الثقة بالاستثمار في السعودية اليوم? So there are multiple answers. Leadership and vision is number 1. القيادة والرؤية. Number 2, clear laws and regulations. قوانين واضحة. Number 3 is quality of projects. نوعية المشاريع. And number 4 is strong economy. قوة الاقتصاد. So please vote on what is the main reason that you feel confident investing in Saudi Arabia today, with the change, of course, happening in the investment landscape under Vision 2030. So we'll give it some time because people are still answering. So please, if you haven't, please go ahead and answer the question. It seems overwhelmingly so far, leadership and vision, and also strong economy. Mr. Sha'ar, I'd like a comment.
Excuse me, Nadine, but just if you allow me, sorry, Ziad. So just to give you an example about the confidence, our project here now, tonight in Inzerillo, it's icon of the country. It's actually, a few years ago, I went with some nice restaurant in Bijeri with my friend and with his team. And then we met Mr. Jerry, and then he invited us to see the whole city. And when he hear about our history since the founder, Imam Muhammad bin Saud, rahmatullah alayh, and then the second term of the Imam Faisal bin Turki, and then King Abdul Aziz, and so he says, no, please, Yousef, I would like to build a project here in this city. So that's for sure. As an international companies assist to invest here, and that's clear.
You are at a loss.
There is a lot of confidence.
These days you are at a loss from the variety of restaurants that are available. If you have guests, Mr. Sha'ar, it was interesting that around 65% voted leadership and vision, around 20% voted strong economy, and around 8% quality of projects as well. So what is your comment on those answers?
You see, leadership and vision is the starting point of a strong economy, a strong quality of life. Look at the countries where you have leadership and vision. You have all the other elements. You have those countries being propelled forward. And this is what we are witnessing in Saudi. The leadership and vision in opening up the country, in investing in those projects, the giga projects, in infrastructure, in global activations, while at the same time opening up the country to the globe, from foreigners allowing to operate companies and own companies in Saudi. And by the way, one of the quickest company setups and the cheapest in terms of fees. Number two, the opening up of the investment in the real estate market, which I'm sure all the other countries that attract international investors should watch what's going to happen here, because the base is very strong.
I'm going to ask you about it later. خليه هيدا.
And the third element is the opening up of the capital markets.
Yeah.
All of this is the result of leadership and vision, which would lead to a much stronger economy and a much important and stronger quality of life.
Also protecting capital. In order to attract long-term investments, you need laws and regulations to protect FDIs.
Allow me to tell you something very important. Once you open up a country and you will invite foreign investment, you've decided that you're gonna protect that environment. Whether you have the laws or not, you've decided to do that.
We have another poll question, so please, if we can display the QR code once more for those who don't have it on their phone. What makes projects like Trump Wadi Safar important for Saudi Arabia? So this is our third poll question. Please, if you could vote on this question. بالعربي ما الذي يجعل مشاريع مثل ترامب وادي صفار مهمة للمملكة? What makes projects like Trump Wadi Safar important for Saudi Arabia? So the four multiple choice answers are global visibility, they already answered it. Raising quality standards, attracting international investors, or all of the above. So it's all of the above. Basically, global visibility, raising quality standards, attracting international investors. Mr. Shahar, comment. Dar Global today was one of the most ready to attract international investors into the kingdom. Having seen that, how are you planning on attracting those investors into the kingdom?
You see, this is our specialty. We've been doing this for 5 years now successfully in many cities and many countries. We already have 120 nationalities who have invested with us in most of our projects. And the first target is to appeal to these investors, to these nationalities. We have 3,000 real estate brokers that we deal with in 65 cities. And those people, we trained them yesterday morning on why invest in Saudi, why Arabiya, why Riyadh, why Jeddah. And once I finished that session with these 3,000 brokers in 65 global cities, and I was getting their questions on chat, you can see that all of them are fully convinced, because what is being laid down to attract local and foreign investment is one of the best packages. From the opening up, transparency. We should not forget about, you mentioned something about regulation and protectionism. We have in Saudi now something called REGA, Real Estate Governance Authority. It's one of the strictest and one of the most attentive regulators we have seen in the world, and we operate in 9 global cities. And this is a form of making sure that this market will have a long depth and will continue towards the future. And this is what we are explaining also to the local and the foreign investor, that today you have a regulator who is attentive to your investment to make sure that all the off-plan sales that are being done in Saudi are projects that get executed, which is also very important when you're opening up the market. In addition to that, all the regulation that is coming to make sure your investment is worthwhile from a taxation perspective. We operate in 9 global cities, and in half of these cities, we've seen in the last 3 to 4 years, every 3 to 4 months, a new tax. It's like people wake up, we need some money, okay, tax the real estate, tax the rich people,
Tax the
let's
wealth.
put more tax. And in Saudi,
Except in the US, deregulation and
from an individual perspective, you only have to pay your 5% registration tax. no inheritance tax, no capital gains, no annual real estate tax, no wealth tax, and all what have you. So investors are very attentive to this, and they're going to look at opportunities more and more in this market that is opening up. And you know, the intelligent investor will have the first move. So once January 23rd comes, on the next day they will enter this market. Definitely we hope when they enter here, they will buy from Dar Global.
I'm going to ask you about this. Jerry, before we go to the numbers and figures, help us dream. In 5 or 10 years, if we are to visit the Arabiya, what would we see? What would we experience?
Well, I'm very excited to answer that question because everybody's looking forward to 2030. It's not that far away, where the kingdom will host the greatest expo ever put on anywhere in the world. But when you look at today, only in 2027, when all those cranes come down and Today Square opens, we will plant all over today. It will take over 4 kilometers of hoarding down. I mean, the quality of life just at the end of 2027. Now you're going to see all the cranes. You start seeing them now on the boulevard for the new 20,000-seat arena, the new Kingdom of Saudi Arabia Contemporary Art Museum, the new Opera House, the new King Salman Mosque, the new Exhibition Center. These are going to be fabulous for everybody that's in Saudi Arabia, and everybody's going to come. We're doing all the roads now, all the parks. So today, by 2030, is going to be a jewel in the middle of a powerhouse G20 Riyadh city. And this is all credit to His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, because he's strict. You got to stay on time. You got to have the quality. So there's going to be a lot. Every year now, we'll open assets, groundbreak, and announce every year until 2030.
Mr. Trump, I've been in the region for more than 20 years, and what's different about Saudi Arabia is that it started from a blank sheet. You know, the tourism sector is being built from scratch. The vision started from scratch. So, of course, I think this quickens the learning curve, because it's easy to look at other examples and try to avoid others' mistakes. So when you look at the positioning of Saudi Arabia today globally, when compared to other real estate markets and investment destinations, how do you see it positioning itself globally?
Can I give you the biggest differentiator between Saudi Arabia and the Gulf and so much of the rest of the world? And that is Saudi Arabia's willingness to say yes, and the Gulf's willingness to say yes. I've spent a lot of time in Europe, and you try and do any real estate project in Europe, and you know what they say? They say, no, it's too big. We don't want it. They put you through 7 years of hell to try and get a permit, and at the end of it, you've wasted a lot of money, and absolutely nothing has gotten done. And then you look at a great country like this, and you look at, in fact, the entire region, and you have a region that's looking forward, and you have a region that's saying, you know what, come invest in our city when we're going to do something big, and we're going to do something bold, and we're going to do something earth-shattering. We're going to redefine standards, and we want the best brands, and we want the tallest buildings, and we want the most luxurious projects. And if you're willing to do that, we're going to say yes to it, and we're going to clear every single obstacle to make sure that vision happens. And I can tell you, it is the single greatest thing that Saudi Arabia is doing, having that vision, the willingness to say yes, you know, the aversion to the word no. I can tell you there's so many places around the world that has to take lessons from that very mindset. And so congratulations on saying yes, congratulations on having the ability to be bold. I'm telling you, it's why we're here. And it's why we're doing the amount of projects that we're doing right here, and it's why you're seeing the explosive growth that you are, you know, not only in this country, but in the region. It's a mindset. And it's a mindset that I hope a lot of the rest of the world will pick up on, because I have a feeling, and I know for a fact, because there's certain countries that I won't even work in, because the mindset's actually going the opposite direction. It's not going this direction, it's going the opposite direction. And that's why so many of those countries are in a state of total stagnation, while Saudi Arabia is growing by leaps and bounds and doing so many great things.
Thank you. Mr. Shelash, the Saudi vision has specific targets when it comes to tourism and FDI, attracting foreign direct investment. And today, when we talk about this project, which has the element of hospitality, hotel, golf, and residential, to what extent does this project answer to these goals of the vision or adhere to the goals of the vision when it comes to tourism and attracting FDI?
Yes. Actually, with this unique project, it's 2.6 million square meter. It's in the mountain. It's a great area, and with the golf course, with the hotel, and also, as Ziad mentioned, it's 2.6 million square meter. So only 5 residential units. So it will add some kind of top luxury housing in this area. That's one, and we believe we will love to be put a small stone in the vision for 2030 as a developer here and add to the city, because sometimes the developers, they will become a burden in the city. They develop a very bad product or something like that, which we, as I told you in the beginning, we align with a high standard developer worldwide, so to add something unique to the city.
The private sector is picking up on the opportunities that are created by these goals of the vision. Ziad, I told you I'm going to ask you about this later on. Let's talk about opening the market to foreign investors. It so happens that this month, the real estate market will be open to investors from outside the country. And at the same time, the Saudi stock market is also opening up. So the first stage this month was removing restrictions on foreign investments in Tadawul and the Saudi Stock Exchange. The next step will be raising the level of foreign direct investment allowed in listed companies. How do you see the relationship between these two developments?
Thank you, but allow me to go back to the first part of your question, which is the lifting on the restrictions of foreigners to invest in real estate in Saudi. The way it has been laid down in the law that we've seen in the last 5 months is so intelligent, because so many countries opened up their markets to foreigners to invest, and consequently the locals in the market suffered because all of the necessary housing went to the foreigners. While here it was done in a super intelligent way. Number one, the golden visa level is put at a level which does not affect the belly of the market of the real estate, which is usually 1.5 to around 3 million riyals. The golden visa starts at 4 million riyals, so it doesn't affect the social housing and the middle class housing, which is the belly of the market, which is local consumption. At the same time, the regulator said something very clear. There are areas open for foreign investment which does not conflict with the local demand. So again, this is very important, not just to protect the local market, because this is also a protection for the foreign investors, because in many markets that governments have not did this properly, eventually foreign investors were hated and they felt unwelcome because they affected the quality of life of the local population.
And the affordability.
So what we have seen in the way that law has been done is so intelligent, and it's gonna attract a lot of FDI. So real estate is gonna become a propeller of the FDI in the market and will not affect the quality of life of locals.
And what about the relationship with the opening of the stock market? Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, the relationship is, to start with, it's very important to open up the market. So you're saying we're open for business to the globe.
And
you want
sorry,
to
here I would like to mention that Dar Al Arkan is a listed company also in the Saudi
Of
stock
course,
market. Yeah.
of course. Actually, we have in the group, Dar Al Arkan is a listed company, Saudi Home Loans is a listed company, and Quara
True.
Finance is
Now
a
you
listed
reminded
company.
me.
So we are, as a
Sahel.
group, specialized in real estate and financial services. And I have to say, the company I lead is listed in London.
LLC.
Nothing to do, but I don't want to leave it out. So We don't feel, the team feels like they've been left out from this discussion. But the relationship is to start with a perception that we are open to the globe. You want to come and open a company here and operate here and bring your international expertise, you're welcome. You want to invest in real estate, you're welcome. You want to invest in the capital markets, you're welcome. Saudi is opening up to the globe. That is the most important message.
Jerry, the requirements of international investors who look to buy in Saudi Arabia, maybe to live or as an investment, is different from the requirements of the locals. So do you see them living side by side in Diriyah? I mean, do you envisage more demand from international or expats or investors, or do you envisage also demand from locals to live in Diriyah?
Yeah, you know, it was very interesting because prior to COVID, because of the vision of His Royal Highness, many foreign investors came to look at the kingdom. And they saw the announcement of the projects and everything. And some thought that the vision was too bold. And then COVID came. But during COVID and prior to COVID, we had signed over 40 hotel deals just for Diriyah. And in COVID, we didn't lose one deal. Would you believe it? Not one. But after COVID, when people saw the project coming out of the ground and said, wait a minute, this vision is no longer theoretical, it's building on time. So I'll give you an idea. On the residential side, we've already sold 16.5 billion SAR in residences. This is before the power of Trump and Dar, right? Now, we're starting to see foreign direct investment come in. We had a big deal with Four Seasons. We had just a few weeks ago with one of our super luxury hotels. We had 3 people who wanted 100% equity in the hotel. We had to move them from this one to that one. So now people have confidence that what the kingdom says it's doing is being done. And now also, thanks to the Ministry of Investment with His Excellency Khalid Al-Faleh, His Excellency Jadon in Finance, and Majid Kasabi, they've attracted over, I think it's over 700 companies now. So now we're seeing those companies that are buying homes for their CEO, their chief financial officer, as they get ready to ramp up. So we're seeing a lot of money coming in now, and it's the first time that over 12% of our buyers are not Saudi. This is a very good thing.
Yeah. I would like to ask Mr. Shelash, يعني الشاري المستهدف، من هو المستهدف ليشتري بالمشاريع اللي عم تحدث عنها؟ What is the target audience for this project? Who are the clients who you would like to attract? And any comment on the foreign investors being able to buy real estate in Saudi Arabia?
Yes, for the our segment or for this project, actually, it's, as I told you or as I mentioned in the beginning, it's a top luxury house, and for also the foreign, for sure, it's attractive for a lot of nationalities, as I mentioned in the begining.
And being branded,
yes,
probably
so
it helps with visibility. Being a branded development, it helps with visibility to global investors. لأنه في الاسم يعني اسم ترامب كمان.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. With this standard of developer, like a great organization, like Trump organization, absolutely, it will do. يعني it will help to the market, the project, yes. But return to the foreign investor, yes, absolutely. It will open the market, and it's very attractive for a lot of our clients from outside Saudi.
I'm impressed by the numbers that you mentioned already about sales. Mr. Trump, if we were to talk about the Trump organization in general and Trump developments, regardless of this specific project, what are the elements that make it a Trump development? Could you give us a flavor for those who don't know it?
We never want to be a company that builds 500 hotels or 1,000 hotels. We don't want 12 hotels in every city. We don't want 30 hotels in every country. We want to have the single best hotel in every single market. We want to build icons. I'm not interested in doing what many of the public companies have done, where you see the same brand over and over and over, and you walk into the same bathrooms and those same brands, and you see the same fixtures and you see the same marble. We want to be contextual to the cities that we're in, and we want to do it for the most discerning buyers, the most discerning travelers, in the most contextual way. I think a lot of people have really cheapened the hotel industry, and it's something I want to stay away from. And I want to know every single room. I want to know every bathroom layout. I want to know every aspect of every amenity, of every F&B outlet. I want to know every air conditioning system. And the problem is some of the CEOs of these companies have lost that, right? It's the same rinse and repeat product over and over and over, and often multiple times in the same market, because guess what? Many of these companies they're public companies. And how do you accrete public value out of a public company? Well, you have to build more. And so you go into markets where certain brands shouldn't be. Maybe that brand can't be supported in that market. You ultimately build a product that becomes a little bit boring, a little bit redundant. And our company, the Trump Organization, will never be that. I want to have the greatest hotel in Saudi. I want to have the greatest hotel in Riyadh. I want to have the greatest residential building in Jeddah. And that's what we'll work for. What I don't want to do is have 12 different projects in each of those respective markets and do so in every country surrounding it, because I think that cheapens the brand. And so we're going to build the greatest icons in the world. And once we build those icons, we'll be incredibly happy with them. We'll manage them impeccably in perpetuity. But I don't think you're ever going to see us become what some of the, I don't want to call them big brands, because I think our brand is actually much more powerful than so many of the quote-unquote big brands. But I'll never go mass market. We'll always be super luxurious. We'll always cater to the most discerning buyers, the most discerning travelers. And we're always going to do it with heart and soul, and not this rinse and repeat model that, frankly, has gotten very, very old and tired.
Did they give you a hard time? Did they give you a hard time with the requirements?
Sorry, Jerry, I hope I didn't insult half of your brands, but
It's okay.
Final round of questions. Let us talk about success. ما معايير النجاح بالنسبة لكم؟ ما الإرث الذي تودون تركه? What are the success factors, in your opinion, for this project?
Actually, there's a lot of talk if we can talk about this project, because it's in a special area, nice city, nice valley, and also a great brand. So we hope we'll develop something unique in this project, and also we are sure, with the help of Trump Organization, we'll do something as he described. It's all the details, and I visit most of their hotels in New York, in Chicago, and so really they are so professional, and they know how to do every details, look for all the details, every room, everything. So that will give us absolutely a great position for to develop this project.
Okay, so when you ask a real estate developer about the main factors of success of the project, I start from the end, which is delivery on time, with the right quality, with the promised design, and the promised specifications. And our hope and desire for that project is to deliver that golf course, that golf club, and that amazing hotel for the time of and even before Expo 2030.
Mr. Inzerillo, when shall we see or live in Wadi Safar and see it the way you described it? By which
Right
year?
now. You can go out there right now. You can come out and live out there right now. We have houses going up right now, but here's the thing. I'm going to go way above and tell everybody a promise I made to His Royal Highness in 2018. Your Royal Highness, we will make Diriyah, the birthplace of the kingdom, the home of Al Saud, one of the great meeting places on earth. Thanks to the great work of our Ministry of Tourism and the Saudi Tourism Authority, Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Sport, the General Entertainment Authority, we had a goal of a Vision 2030 to attract 100 million visits. We accomplished that at the end of 2023. Now His Royal Highness makes us do 150 million. But here's it. With Trump, it's a qualitative accelerant to allow us to have people come from all over the world and see what everybody in this room knows. Unbelievably warm, gracious Saudi hospitality in a very diverse, beautiful country where people can come to a safe country, enjoy each other's time, regardless of religion or nationality. All are welcomed. And what this is going to be, 2030, is going to be a great gathering place for the whole world, inshallah.
Mr. Trump, what is the message that you would like to leave our audience with as a final thought?
Well, my final thoughts are thank you. Thank you to all of you. Again, you've welcomed me with open arms. I have become the greatest advocate of this great country. I've become the greatest advocate of the great people of Saudi. Every time I come here, I feel like I'm at home. I really do. I've got the most wonderful partner in the world in Yousef. Yousef Trump, as I call him. He's absolutely the greatest.
This is going to stick.
Ziad is a man that I adore, I respect. The entire DAR team, they are as good as they come anywhere in the world. And it's really amazing when you can have fun with what you do. And we do every single time. I have to admit, there have been trips, not with these guys, with other people, where it's like, I don't really want to go to that one. I'll skip that one. Every single time I'm with the team from DAR, every time I'm with Yousef, every time I'm with Ziad, we have the greatest time. They are keenly focused on excellence. They are keenly focused on quality. They want to deliver the greatest product, and they're just wonderful, wonderful people. So I'm incredibly proud to call them our partners. They're the best in the world at what they do. What we're going to do here in Riyadh is incredible. What we're doing in Jeddah is incredible. What we're doing in Dubai together is incredible. What we're doing in the Maldives is one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen. What we're doing in Oman is incredibly special. And I just couldn't be more proud. So thank you. Thank you, Saudi Arabia. Thank you for opening your hearts to us. And know that you've got great friends in the United States who love you, who adore you. And I'll be back very, very often. I look forward to spending a lot of time here in the years to come.
And we want to thank you. We want to thank you for being here with us tonight, and we want to wish you the best of luck for this project. And Jerry, thank you also for being with us.